Hello, everybody, and welcome to Melody of the Maelstrom, where a bunch of real-life bards play Dungeons & Dragons. Before we roll the starting titles, we do have a few sponsors that we need to shout out. The first being D&D Beyond. If you want to have all of your resources conveniently in one place and you hate math, look no further. D&D Beyond has all of the digital resources you could possibly need, including books, dice, and the ability to homebrew to your heart's content. Our second sponsor is Effects May Vary, an awesome local band from Newmarket, Ontario, and we specialize in making sure you always have your daily prescription for hard rock. Feel free to listen to our music on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're most comfortable listening to your favorite tunes. And feel free to follow us on Facebook for show dates and announcements. And as always, individual effects may vary. There is also our Patreon, where we have a tier for every level of generosity. One includes being shouted out at the end of this game, as well as all of the others, or voice acting lessons from one of the talented players in one of our other games, if he's not too scared to show his face again after what happened a few weeks ago. And of course, we have merch. Do you want a logo, a shirt, or maybe even a mouse pad with that awesome Dire Bear logo? And we are still selling Pride merch. Pride, damn it! I was so close! I thought I was gonna make it too! I was getting so excited. We still have Pride Month merch. Whether or not it is June, we display our Pride year-round. As I fuck up the last few sentences of the ad read, you can go ahead and check out our merch page where you can find whatever it is your heart desires, except for me doing a flawless ad read. That's not there. It's probably never going to be there. Alright, so with that, you can go ahead and roll the starting titles. And welcome back. So, where we left off the last time we played, the party managed to make their way into the sewers before finding a very interesting individual, named Stu Sewry, who is a PhD, or a potato-having dude, and he may or may not have a few bolts loose. That it remains to be seen. So after following him back to his little hovel, which was full entirely of potatoes that he had named, and he claimed were his friends, he led all of you into the sewers, and you guys had a pretty nasty encounter with some crocodiles, which you were halfway through. And unfortunately, part of this encounter involved because of the torrential downpour outside, there was a large amount of water that came flooding into this particular area. And all of you managed to hold on, save for Nyx, who got swept away. And she is now currently being held underwater, and one of the crocodiles is attempting to drown her. And that is precisely where we left off. So, it's in the turn order. We just finished Bavidius's turn. Unfortunately, Fidget isn't going to be joining us this evening, so I'm going to skip his turn as well, which brings us to Rendell.
Well, bollocks. Didn't think I would be up so quickly. Alright then, I can see where the bubbles and everything are coming up, yeah?
Yeah, there's quite a few bubbles. Like, you can see the disturbances in the algae and the muck on the surfaces of the water. Like, something very large is moving around underneath, just beneath the surface.
Alright, I'm gonna fish around in my coin purse, and I'm gonna pull out a copper coin. I'd like to cast the light cantrip on it, and drop it into the water.
Okay, so you drop it into the water, and you hear the blink, before it floats down, and you can see it's still very murky water. You can definitively see two large shadows, one humanoid shaped, one crocodilian shaped, kind of fit together like Lego pieces right now. Oh, you can see that like Nyx is struggling, like trying to get out of this thing's mouth, but she just can't in this moment. And there is a lot of blood.
So I can see Nyx enough to discern like that she's there.
Yeah, it would be a reasonable assumption.
Okay.
You can't do like 100% ID. It's still murky water. You're just kind of looking at a shadow thrashing around in the water.
Bollocks. Well, that idea goes out the window.
For the purposes of spellcasting, you can tell she is a creature, and you can discern the one creature from the other.
Oh, well, holy. Then
that's what I'm saying. It's just, like, you know, if you're asking, oh, am I absolutely certain this is Nyx? I have to say, well, no, because you can't see, but it's a pretty reasonable assumption this is Nyx. Like,
I'm going to end up healing the croc, I know it. But
I don't think the croc's taking much damage.
I'm going to cast Healing Word.
Okay.
Second level on Nyx. For 10 hit points.
Nice. Okay.
And then
I have to describe what happens because you can't really see it. You have no idea whether or not that works.
And then I'm going to do something incredibly stupid and jump in the water.
Do a cannonball?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Cannonballs!
Cannonball.
The water tastes awful. Was your mouth open?
Let's see.
Your mouth open.
Well, I'm going to be making a con save, aren't I?
No, you just may or may not have amoebic dysentery now.
I would say, for purposes knowing that we're in a sewer, I would say I'll keep my mouth closed.
Probably. Just.
But
that would also be a pretty reasonable assumption. It's like you probably plugged your nose too.
But that is all I can currently do, so I shall end my turn.
Okay. Do. Oh, that's stew. Why is there a sack of potatoes in the initiative?
There can only be one reason. Circle of the Spud Druid.
They're very motivated potatoes. They got to get up on the initiative order.
He's rolled really well for a sack of potatoes. I'm on the wrong player. That's why I can't move anything. So he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to yell at Rendell and be like, getting in the water with it is probably not the best. Oh, he goes. There he goes. Okay. Sure. Just grabs a potato and he's like, sorry about this. And he just whips it into the water. Does absolutely nothing. It's just, you just like hear a splash and look next to you and you see a potato just float up next to you. Nailed it! It's his turn.
Ovidius just kind of snorts in frustration.
He... just because you guys spent all of that time building a character sheet for him doesn't mean
I mean, it was
that he immediately knows how to do all of these things when I have established that he is some homeless dude who steals potatoes. Like,
it was a thought experiment.
It was
a home.
He might, you know what? If he ever is a returning NPC, I will most assuredly give him all of that stuff. But I can't halfway through a combat be like, oh yeah, he can suddenly cast spells. He didn't do it before, but
potato based though.
Though I could. He's also probably clinically.
Maybe seeing Rendell thrash around, he hit it like his limit break. And
She's like, you just got in the water with a crocodilian, mate. That's not. And he just activates, like, just something inside of him goes, what?
just
for the record,
The Australian accent makes me think it's like a, just like a really overzealous park ranger. Like, that's not wilderness safety, and he just like pulls off and it's like a ranger's outfit
You
beneath.
can't get in the water. Get out of the water. Speaking of getting into the water with a crocodile, that makes it the crocodile's turn. So essentially, you jump into the water and you're trying to tread water, and you can feel your boots and your the fronts of your calves kicking against this very large creature. It is going to continue to bite down on X because she's just kind of conveniently between its teeth right now. So there's
Immediately.
that.
How did that happen?
Convenient. It's just
Me
Okay.
when I'm eating my 6th slice of pizza. How did this get here?
How did this
It's
get into
amazing.
my mouth? It's a mystery. Somehow it manages to miss while it's in its mouth, but
Excellent.
armor is a thing. Okay, so then, because you are in the water, Randall, it is going to try to whack you with its tail. And then I rolled really well. I'm assuming a 27 hits you.
Let me check here.
Let me
some
check, hold on.
Real mental math. Yes, that is going to hit.
Yeah, okay. So you were going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And I am gonna negate the prone condition because you are currently swimming.
Alrighty.
So.
Alright then.
Okay. So this tail just lashes up out of the water and clocks you across the side of the face. That hurt. Definitely rang your bell a little bit there.
Oh, it was just a little love tap. It's fine.
It's a little, yeah. It's just a little tap. Just a little. Get the.
Tap tap tap.
You hear the high pitched for a second before. Get out of the water, mate. That's what I was trying to warn. Get out of the water. Okay. Father and Borrow, that makes your turn.
So, how many crocodile? Just one?
So one of them is dead. One of them
Yeah, I know the dead
has
one.
been officially unalived. And the other one ran away. Mostly because you scared it with spooky noises, and
So it's just the one then.
and Stu was being a little bit weird. So it was like, you know what? Absolutely.
Stu was making
not.
everyone uncomfortable. He didn't
I
know anyone
enjoy
at the
being
party
alive.
anyway.
Yeah, so it watched you guys murder its friend, and this other dude tried to feed it a potato, and it's like, you know what? No.
I got.
Mm-mm.
I'm taping Coronation Street and like.
One of them is threatening he's gonna turn me into a purse or boots or both, and I'm not about that, okay? I'm not a fashionable crocodile. I have no interest in.
Okay, and so the presumably dying individuals across from me there, how dying do they look on a scale from 1 to dying?
You can't see that.
Can't see.
Can't see these people.
You can see those
individual.
Vidius. How on a scale of 1 to dying? How?
And don't
Death
give me
are you?
it's a 43 out of 55. Don't do that to me.
Do that.
I'm not an idiot. I don't have 55 max HP.
You did watch a crocodile lunge up out of the water and bite him on the arm.
Did I though?
There are some pretty decent gashes in his bicep and his forearm.
Yeah, Bovidius has very obvious physical damage, and he's breathing a little bit heavily, but you can see he's still got a little more fight left in him.
He's a stubborn cow.
I have made a grave error.
Oh, you haven't. This is beautiful.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we can try
I
to steer
suppose.
the conversation in a different direction.
Oh my god.
I wasn't paying attention enough to get it. Okay, so I guess we're just probably going to just go ahead and we'll just twin spell a cure wounds via bird onto the Bullman.
So when you twin a spell, you do have to target 2 separate creatures.
That
You can't
is
twin
true.
the spell on the same creature.
That is true. That is very true. I guess we're just gonna do it the one time.
Okay. Because I don't think Fidget took any damage, so I don't think there's any.
His
believe
token says 11 of 35, but I don't know what would have hit him. He's been on my shoulders. Everything's been hitting me.
A crocodile? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe I edited the token
Either.
and he never changed. So we're not going to assume that
Yeah.
that's true because I don't recall hitting him. He's just kind of going for a joyride.
I mean, 7 foot tall side of beef, 2 foot tall thing out of reach of the crocodile. I wonder which one got attacked.
Well, technically, you're supposed to eat the appetizer first.
Yeah, but if somebody's holding the appetizer way above your head, you settle for the main course.
Please, nobody tell Fidget that I called him an appetizer.
What, you don't think he's a snack?
Appetizers are not snacks. They're just,
I've changed what I'm doing.
signal
You
that more
don't get
food is
to
gonna
my
come.
size if appetizers are not snacks.
So you're
I've
casting-
changed what I'm going to do, and I'm going to
Okay.
do it. I'm going to move over to this square, drop a hex on the big boy, and
Okay.
then I'm going to. I don't have a token for the bird. Bird's going to help. Bird's going to use the help action there.
Let's see if I
I'm
can get you-
declaring for hex strength rolls to be the negative save.
Nope, that's not where I look for a token. I can get you a burb real quick. Hold on.
Bird.
Oh, would you look at that bird? Slightly smaller, not quite that big. Bird. There you go. So your burb is over here currently.
So the bird will swoop down, make a little distraction there for Crocodilian. Just above the surface. Yeah, you don't just like bait him.
Anybody who has speak with animals going, it's saying a bunch of very mean things about this crocodile's mother.
Yeah. The worst part is the crocodile is too stupid to understand.
Yep.
You know, the what is it? Abdullah Blagad is too small. Remember that reference? So that's my turn.
You're just a stupid reptile. Alright. Talon, it makes it your turn.
I am again going to try and stab the crocodile that is trying to devour Nyx.
You can certainly try.
Yep.
You can
hold
do
on.
so with you can roll with advantage. Go right ahead.
Wahoo! Whoa!
Wait a minute.
No.
The bird helps.
I am going to try sneak
Oh,
attack.
the bird does help. Right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Take that back. I just narrated that the bird was doing the help action, and immediately it's just gone.
Bird distracted you too. The bird is very powerful.
Bird distracts. She's very good at her job. Let's just say that. I got so distracted by the
raven. She
distraction. I
disappeared.
forgot what the distraction is supposed to do. Ooh, shiny.
Among the hills.
So yes, you do get advantage because Burb used help. Bird cast distraction.
Just get into my dice. All right, and I can use sneak attack.
Yes, you do get sneak attack.
That fails miserably. Not so miserably, in fact. It's a natural 1.
Ah!
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh
How did you roll 1 both times?
no! I rolled a 1 for the first one.
Oh,
Hold on.
Sir, can
With
you roll me a
advantage?
that would have been incredible.
Hold on. Rolled the first one was a 1. Second one's a 14.
I think the 14 hits.
Yep.
Easy.
Question: we established he has advantage on the rolls, right?
Yeah, that's why I rolled again.
Okay.
On his first
Then
roll,
that
it
one
kind of
failed
works
miserably,
like
but if
guiding
it-
bolt on the first attack that he gets. So if he uses his offhand, it's just a regular attack.
Yeah.
That's how she'd be.
So with the advantage, I actually hit.
Yes. And ruined all of my fun. I was pulling it up. I was.
All right, and so now it's my offhand. I'm gonna try and
So just roll normally with your offhand.
Yeah.
You only apply your sneak damage to the first attack because you only get it once per turn.
Sorry, this. Oh shit! The sneak damage for the first attack, 14 was my first one. Plus, sorry,
Okay, you can roll the damage all at once. Hey, just
all that.
roll it however you like. I'm just saying, do not roll the sneak damage twice. Only roll the sneak damage once.
No, I only rolled the sneak damage once.
Don't worry,
Okay,
we're
so
all used
because
to
the
how
sneak damage
rogues
was with
roll.
the advantage, right? Was the
Yes.
advantage?
Yes.
Okay. So that was a 14 it hit, and the other one hit because it was a 16.
Okay. So yeah, roll me damage for both. Pretty please.
Sorry, daggers. I'm sorry, it's piercing damage, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm having a moment here.
You're using a knife, right?
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm
it's
stabbing,
piercing
but I'm
damage.
trying to find it. What
Ow.
the dice that I'm supposed to roll for it.
So if it's a dagger,
So
it
a
should
dagger
be
does a
1d4?
D4. And then we said you had 3 levels. No, you have 2 levels of rogue.
Yeah.
You have 2d6 of sneak attack damage.
So
I
there.
suggest you write that down somewhere.
Yes, I'm going to write it down in a moment, but I'm going to roll first. Jesus Christ, this is the only thing I don't like about Beyond, because if you double tap something, you have to exit out of the dice to roll it. So 2d6s, right?
Yeah, 2d6 for your sneak, and then roll 2d4 for both of your, like, the knife damage on both of your attacks.
Yeah.
And add your dexterity modifier.
And the sneak attack only goes to the first roll, and
And your dexterity modifier also only goes to the first roll.
I don't have a modifier.
And forget about that.
So right now I have...
Wait, what's your dex?
11.
Wow. Okay.
So it's 19.
Okay.
Nice.
Wait. They rolled the 2d4s,
Mm-hmm.
and then they rolled the 2d6s.
2d6, yep.
Yeah, and it came out to 19.
That's it. That's good.
Cool.
All right, I thought somebody said what. And I was like, what? What did I do wrong?
No, I said that's nice.
Really
Okay.
high on everything. That's almost max, right? Unless my math is wrong.
Yeah, 8 and
1
12
off
is
of max. Yeah.
20.
Damn, dude. Okay.
Hopefully it'll...
So, you stab downwards with just both hands into the back of this thing, and you feel your blade kind of hit something hard and then punch through it. And there's a sudden movement in the water as this thing begins to thrash around. You have finally managed to injure this thing, and it's not super happy about it.
Gee, you think?
I don't think anybody enjoys being stabbed, so
No, they don't enjoy
take
being
that back.
bit, you fucking
not
animal.
many people enjoy being stabbed. So that makes it Nix's turn. That's really all she gets to do. As she critically fails on her strength saves to try and get out of this thing's mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah. Vidius.
Before I move, I'm gonna listen.
So
and...
just for flavor, everybody is kind of watching like this struggle take place under the water. And essentially there is so much blood clouding the water, like anybody can see that her movements are beginning to become sluggish.
Before I move, I'm gonna listen and see if I can hear the sound of Sir Domino's armor clanking. Maybe he's almost caught up with the group.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry, dude.
I was just figuring end of round.
Which we are at.
We are, yep. Can you roll me initiative, good sir?
Absolutely.
I entirely forgot that I didn't roll initiative for you last week shit.
It's all good.
Got
I was
your back.
communing with Bahamut.
I'm just imagining he's like sitting somewhere in the sewer and closes his book.
May you
Required,
bring the
and then he's
platinum
click,
dragon
click, click, click,
blessing.
click.
We may need it.
All right, so I have 11 on initiative.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do right now is I saw his token on the thing and I was like, oh, beauty. I put it in, but it's in there with a 0 and I'm an idiot.
Oh no.
Beauty, are you
didn't
locked
actually-
into the Potato Man character?
Actually pop up. So yeah, I'm gonna
Beauty
actually
was a
turn-
Canadian thing long before it was an Australian thing, bud.
Beauty.
Beauty, bud.
Beauty, bud.
Fucking beauty,
Fucking
eh?
A, bud.
Wonder.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you go right now because you should have been able to go last round, and then you get to go again when it's actually your turn. Because I think that's fair. I'm all about the
Fair
fairness. So, you are precisely where you are on map because I wasn't a jerk and I didn't leave you behind. So yeah, I saw you on the map and I was like, perfect, beauty, he's there. All right, haha, I did include him. Good. Nope. I guess that your freaking Raven is really good at distracting.
That's what we do.
All right, so how long would it take me to catch up to the rest of the party?
Oh, you're in the room.
Okay.
You're there. I just forgot about you a little bit. And it's okay. Not really though. But you are already in the room. Just take your turns as you normally would.
I'll take 2 stabs at the crocodile.
Okay. So you were here. Let's just say, out of fairness, you used your first turn to move all the way over here so that you were within melee.
Sure.
As everybody else took a couple turns doing that. And then go ahead and use this turn that you have now to attack. So all your movement's already done. Everybody else got to do it previously. So it would be a reasonable assumption that you would have moved up the same as everybody else. So just go ahead and take both of your turns, just making attacks.
That's what I meant
think
to
that's
ask.
Fair.
Maybe I didn't communicate it that well. But yes, okay. 2 swings.
Understood.
All right, we have a natural 2 and a natural 17. Is this large or medium?
This is a large creature. It's a huge creature.
And we will do a whopping 14 points of damage with a longsword.
Straight. That's not what its health currently is. Math. Good. Gotcha. All right. So you just slice into the water, kind of cleaving past Rendell's head and just hitting a section of this thing whilst it's just in the water. Now there's just plumes of blood just coming up from this reptilian beast as it thrashes around just beneath the surface. You can most assuredly tell that definitely hurt it. Oh, is that your turn?
Yes.
Cool. Bavidius, that makes it your turn.
All right, so I'm going to walk forward, and now I have a mechanical question.
Okay.
As part of the attack action, I get 2 attacks. Would I be able to sacrifice damage on one of those attacks to instead make like an opposed strength check and use my halberd like a bill hook to force the crocodile to the surface?
I will allow that.
Cool. And
So-
I still get my second attack
So
because I'm using a forced movement and then an attack as the 2 attacks of my action.
yeah, I'll allow that. Yeah, that's fine.
Hell yeah.
'Cause you're not truly grappling it. Right? So
Yeah.
I'll let that
I'm
slide.
using a utility of a reach weapon.
Go for
Cool.
it, dude.
Video.
So I'm going to.
That's really fucking cool. I'm just gonna do it, dude.
I've been sitting here the whole
So
round
cool.
thinking about this and hoping it would work. So I'm gonna.
I have a question.
What?
I have a question for you, Bavidius.
Yes.
Does that make you a mechanical bull now? Because it was a mechanical question.
Um,
Sorry.
He's so.
Bovidius dunks his head underwater and drowns. So I'm gonna burn my last.
Oh, he must be so thirsty. He's insatiable right now. But
I'm going to burn my last fighting spirit.
no!
I burn my last fighting spirit to give myself advantage on both of these attacks. So first one, that is a 20, dirty 20.
I think that'll hit, yeah.
So
you
that was not the advantage. So okay, cool. It hits either way. So that brings the crocodile to the surface.
So you plunge your halberd into the water and like feel the bottom like point of the blade hook around something, and then you pull upwards and you realize that you've managed to hook one of the back like the rear legs of this thing. And as you pull it up to the surface, you jerk your blade free, kind of slicing a little bit as you go, and move in for your next actual attack. So go ahead and roll for that.
24 with the advantage.
I think that'll hit as well.
And that's 13 slashing damage with the halberd.
Okay. Alright, so let's put these guys back on the layer where they belong. Okay, that was 13.
Yes.
I can do math. I can do math. There we go. Okay.
Fighting spirit takes my bonus action, so that is my full round.
Okay. So you drag this thing up to the surface as it kicks and begins to thrash around. You can see that it's bleeding from a few lacerations that have been made into its back. And you immediately swing forwards, kind of aiming for its spine, just as it jerks and manages to get out of the way, but you still open up a deep gash, just like in the skin on its back. You can now, as you pull it to the surface, you can hear that it is now growling. Just this, deep, ominous, rumbling noise that crocodiles make. And as it comes up to the surface, you can see now that Nyx is also being pulled with it in its mouth. She is still gripped tightly in its jaws, just bleeding profusely from multiple wounds. Looking pretty weak. She's not doing very well right now. And that is your turn?
Yep, that's everything I can do.
Okay. Rendell, that makes it your turn.
Alright, I'm going to see Nyx not doing very well, so I'd like to reach out if I could and touch her. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her at 3rd level.
Okay. So you're kind of in a super awkward spot right now because there was space for you before the crocodile was pulled up to the surface. But now you're kind of in this little space between its body and the wall. So you can,
so
but you're gonna have to scooch a little bit. So like up towards its head area. That's kind of what I'm.
That's fine.
Right, the crocodile.
Yeah.
I will happily get closer to its mouth.
Towards its mouth. I'm sure
Yeah,
nothing
bad will happen.
Nothing bad will happen.
True
This is fine.
self-revealer.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
I'm on top of it. It's the safest spot.
But I'll give 20 healing to Nyx.
That's a decent amount of healing.
And
Yeah.
I don't think I'll have much else I can do in terms of bonus actions. Because I can only cast this one spell, and then if I have another spell, it can only be a cantrip, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's usually how it should be, unless you have other things that allow you to cast multiple spells per turn.
Not at the moment.
Mostly sorcery stuff. It's not usually available to clerics, so.
Nope. It was almost like I had planned to multi-class into something and then completely decided, nope, not going to do that.
Okay.
So, that will be my turn.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Potato Dude's gonna run up and be like, seriously? I'm not gonna warn you again. You should probably get out of the water. That thing's gonna bite you. You're going towards its head, mate. That's the wrong direction. You should swim away. Oh, does anybody listen to me? Domino, that makes it your turn.
Sweet. I will vanquish the poor crocodile. Well, there's a what armor class?
I don't have to
Or-
answer that question.
I rolled a 9 and a 16. The 9 would be a modified 12.
Unfortunately, 12 misses. But your second one hits.
All right. I will do 6 points of damage with the longsword strike.
Okay. Oh, I just glanced at the chat. He redeemed it twice. Dude,
No, the
dude.
first one wasn't JT. Oh, never
Was it?
mind.
No, they both. Yeah.
It was on behalf of JT.
Oh. I was from. Okay. Listen, y'all can be salty about like keep popping up and extending your swear timer endlessly, but I don't think there's really a point to it. It's not gonna
That was pretty glorious.
fix it. So sometimes you just got to accept that life isn't fair and move on. All right. So your first attack kind of just glances across, getting a few of the spikes off of its back, but not actually doing any real damage. Before your second attack definitely cuts, like stabs down into this thing, and the rumbling growl just gets sharper and louder. And you can see Nyx like gritting her teeth in pain in response to it. Like it bites down on her harder because you are causing it discomfort. So she's not having a good time right now, although she hasn't been for the entirety of this game so far. So, okay, is that your turn?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. That makes it your turn.
Not that I wouldn't like to. Isn't it the crocodile's turn? Oh, okay. I thought they always went before me.
I put somebody in the initiative, and Roll20 decided to be like, ha! Wouldn't it be funny if I just took these two and reversed them instead? So now it's after you in the initiative, and I don't feel like...
Sure. So, I'm trying to
Go
like
with it.
convince myself not to do something stupid. I need a second to like really.
I'll do something
think about
stupid. Do it.
No,
Do
no,
it.
do
Do
something
it. Do it.
stupid.
Do it.
Like,
Do something
is the
stupid.
crocodile-
Randall is like in the water right next to this thing's face. And he's like,
Is
no,
the,
do it. Do
is
it.
the
Do it.
is the dead crocodile floating like right where it is there?
Yep.
It is.
Oh no, what are you doing?
So,
Please animate
so,
that.
so can I? No, I wish. Can I like walk over the crocodile and jump onto the second?
You can certainly try.
Okay, so
Give me an athletics or an acrobatics check, whichever you
Oh, God.
prefer.
so then here comes like the real question. What is my athletics here? I can probably is it athletics or is it acrobatics?
Whichever you prefer.
Acrobatics, please.
Okay.
We can do a bit of guidance. Am I casting another spell this turn? Nah, we can guidance. So we'll just
You're
go
gonna
ahead.
Guidance yourself? Okay.
We do a bit of guidance.
Okay.
There's got to be a D4. on
Everybody
this
else
thing.
watches Father Mbaro just like lays his hands on his own chest and he's like it's just like his glowing arcane energy begins to swirl around him. He is now guided himself.
Listen, the tomb rating is part of the character. This is totally in character. I don't have any. There are no triangles in this entire skull. It's worthless. Okay, we're gonna go into roll 20 to do this. Roll a d4, please. Okay, so we add 3 to whatever happens here. So we're going to
Okay.
roll. We're gonna roll a 15, and we're gonna add 5 to that. So 20. Does 20
Okay.
get me from crocodile A to crocodile B?
It most assuredly does. You
Okay.
look pretty graceful doing it, honestly. Like,
Now, okay, so
this goes
We're
like
gonna get-
full Olympic gymnast and like balance beams his way across the dead crocodile and then onto the other crocodile, which is actively swimming right now.
no, he's wearing like clerical vestments. Imagine him like hiking up his skirt a little bit to like gingerly make his way across and like geez onto the second one there. That's what's
What shoes are
happening.
you wearing? What type of shoes are you wearing? This is important because this is the
Well-
only time they're ever going to see your shoes. What type of shoes are you wearing?
Air Jordan 4s.
I focus,
Of
on,
course, yeah,
I
like,
focus
but-
on stupid things. Just let me have this, okay?
I mean, let's go with those like the black and white like pilgrim boots with the high socks and the buckle. Go with those.
He's wearing like
Yeah.
like socks that are a little bit too long, like all the way up his calf. I love it. Okay, please continue.
I realize now I shouldn't have done any guidance because I wanted to do the second part of this. So this sucks now. We're just gonna have the bird. We're gonna use the bird to use help on me to give me the next advantage on whatever roll I make.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'll.
Let me know when I have to grapple the crocodile. Because Hex has him disadvantaged strength. We're just going to put that out there.
Guidance an action or a bonus action?
Oh, Hex is just there.
No,
He's
no,
just
no, no.
there.
Guidance.
Oh, guidance was
Isn't it a
was
bonus?
a spell. No, it's
Yes.
a cantrip.
No. Guidance is a cantrip, but is it an
Yeah.
action or a bonus action?
It's
If it's a
probably an
bonus action, you can most assuredly grapple this crocodile
No.
right now.
It is an
If
action.
guidance was a
Is
if
an
guidance
action?
was a
Okay.
bonus action, that would be
It's
the
just-
most. It's already
The
just
majority of the
insane.
time, guidance is used out of combat, so I don't actually know what the casting time on it is because it's almost never used in combat.
You've never seen the crocodile jump guidance usage. It's a classic.
Oh, that's definitely not a
now.
common tactic. I probably will in the future. Everybody's gonna start doing the crocodile guidance jump, but you're
That's
patient
the
zero,
repertoire.
dude. You're
That
you're
really sounds like a speedrun skip. It sounds like something out of a somersault video.
no, dude. You got to do the guidance fueled the crocodile
Guidance
jump. Otherwise, you're never
crocodile
gonna get
jump.
to the next level within 5 minutes rather than 27. Obviously. Gaming
No,
is
it would
weak.
be something to shave like a 1/10 of a second off a record. I'm done.
So okay. So everybody else watches. Yay!
Fuck yeah.
This is what happens when you don't let Nyx talk for a solid 10 minutes. He's gonna come back and be like, peasants! They didn't swear or reset their timer. Yeah, we are evolving, motherfucker. Okay. So, what is he doing? Oh yeah, everybody watches as he hikes up his robes and just like doot, 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 and just like skips on top of the crocodile. And you can see the crocodile's eyes like widen and it's like, what the fuck? As like it starts wriggling around in the water trying to dislodge you, and you're just doing like a small shuffling dance to remain on its back.
Sounds like some Wile E. Coyote shit.
Is awesome and anxiety inducing at the same time.
Oh no, we have like an anime moment where he like falls to his knees and like the rosary comes out of his vest and he like pushes his glasses up. Oh geez, he's on the crocodile.
Oh jeez. That makes it its turn, and it's most assuredly gonna thwap you with its tail, cause you're on its back right now, and that's not cool. Does an 18 hit you, good sir?
No.
Oh?
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me, sir. I know you are a magic wielder. Your AC is not very good. don't give me that bullshit.
I thought I had the option.
No, it's I just lied. I thought I could. Okay, so you are going to take 16 points of bludgeoning damage, and can you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
Hero Priest.
I'm
That's
going to
unfortunate.
take this opportunity while you're
Oh,
making that
South Park.
save to bite the shit out of bites the shit out of Nyx. Oof.
Good thing you healed her.
Wait, I can roll a crit on this. No, I can't. Why 19?
19 succeeds. So it comes up with its tail and just cracks you across the back with its tail, and you feel your feet slide slightly forwards, but you manage to keep them and remain upright on the back of this very angry crocodile.
I'm glad I have my legs.
You're probably gonna get a round of applause when this encounter is over, because this
Unless
is some
I'm
pretty
dead.
impressive shit. Unless you're dead. That would make
It's a
things
non-zero
awkward.
chance.
It's definitely possible. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Talon, that makes it your turn.
Well, I know I no longer have sneak attack.
Oh, yes, you do, but
Yeah, you do.
I do. All right, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna try it with my rapier this time.
That's fine.
I think I'm
pull the
constantly
rapier.
flanking at this point for every direction. All right, are we playing with flanking or no?
You are playing with flanking, but you have to be on opposing sides of something in order to flank, so that means somebody would have to be underneath the crocodile.
No advantage, right?
Green.
Does he
Don't-
have advantage?
Don't
Did you
anybody say a
someone
word.
has to go underneath the crocodile?
No, you do not currently have advantage,
Thanks. Thank you.
as he gave the help action to himself, so.
12. Doesn't hit.
No, unfortunately not.
All right. That's it. There's nothing else I can really do.
Okay. So essentially, you go to stab just as Father Embaro sets his foot on the back of this crocodile, and it starts thrashing around, and you just kind of stab into the water. Fortunately, is that your turn?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Like, unless I wanted to try animal handling, but I think we're past that point.
Maybe a little. It's really scared it's gonna be a handbag right now. Rendell said
the
some mean
only-
things to its friends.
The only ways to handle this animal are with blades.
Do-do-do. Haha, okay. So Nyx is going to place her hands on either side of this crocodile's mouth and, like, pry it open just long enough that she can shimmy her torso out and get out of this thing's mouth.
If this is an opposed strength roll, the crocodile has disadvantage.
It's not an opposed roll, it's just a DC. Pretty low DC.
What is the DC of a crocodile mouth?
I don't have to answer that question. She is currently in the water. And not doing
Getting dysentery.
Nah, I've seen season 6 of Game of Thrones. Nothing happens to wounds in the water.
Oh yeah, nothing. Everything. She's fine. I am sure that she will be absolutely fine. That was her action. So, she's gonna bonus action rage.
Good for her.
And then
Could she have been taking half damage the whole time?
you could have.
Okay.
Actually, now that you've asked that very particular question, can you roll me an insight check?
That was out of character, but sure.
Listen. I don't care. Somebody noticed.
Let's play insight again. Probably poor. Let's check this out. Oh, it's a 4. It's not terrible, no. That's a 23.
23.
Damn, dude.
23.
Okay. So you realize pretty quickly, she just hasn't been fighting this whole time. She's been not putting in as much effort as she could be. You don't know why, but you do realize that she is far more capable. She just showed that she is. So she is making an active choice right now, and you don't understand why. That was her turn. Should probably get her out of the water, but then she would know that she might get bitten again. She's gonna stay where she is. Okay, Vividius.
All right. I'm going to take a 5-foot step because there's a little bit of platform on this square. So
Yep, you can just
stand there.
just balancing on it on one hoof.
And with my free action, can I change from my halberd to my greatsword?
Absolutely.
All right. And with flanking advantage from Sir Domino, I am going to take 2 weapon swings with my greatsword and try to pierce the hide, finally, of this beast. Oh, and that's a crit on the first one.
I think that'll
And
do
a
it.
22 on the second one.
I think that will also do it.
So that's 18 from the crit and 14 from the other.
Dang.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of
Decent
ones in those
chunk of
rolls.
damage.
That's a lot of fucking ones.
Still a pretty decent amount of damage, though. That's like
And hang on.
30 plus points of
Bonus
damage in one
action?
turn.
Something with bonus action, something to do with the horns. That's unarmed strike. Melee attack.
You can use
No,
your bonus.
you
action.
said it was huge. You said it was huge, so I
It is a
can't even
huge
do that.
creature, yeah.
So that's my turn.
Okay. Rendell.
Well, I'm also glad that it is huge because if you had just shoved that thing, I'm in between it and the wall. So
Yeah, that's
I
also
would've-
why I
I
didn't
would
do
have
it.
pointed that out.
No,
Maybe.
It in my head it went, Domino and Rendell and Imbaro would all have trouble if I was to hammering horns shove it 10 feet, but I skipped that and only pointed out that I can't.
Oh,
even
please,
hammer it.
no, please let me surf the crocodile. Do
Oh,
that.
believe me, if it was just
Please.
you, you'd be surfing.
well,
You're already surfing, dude. Just your
Yeah.
surfboard
Surfing
just so happens to be also
USA.
alive and very pissed off.
no, Nix is out of the mouth now, so
Yes.
The meal.
Now.
I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay. Okay.
It's a 14 DC for a Wisdom save.
This thing is so wise. I am very excited about how this is going to turn out.
I mean, I've
'Cause-
already cast this spell once, and you saved last time, so
Oh, a 17.
yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath then.
Oh, it's 17. Look at that. Who would have guessed?
Oh, such
Oh,
a
look at me! I have Dungeon Master dice.
No,
Everything's
no.
over 15.
I'm not very particularly fond of wisdom rolls because this thing doesn't have a very good wisdom modifier. Oh, look, I rolled very well. Get fucked.
You know, I'd say there's a certain wisdom to the crocodile.
Please
yes.
proceed.
then I will cast
Sucks
Healing
so
Word.
much. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. I'll just do what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm a cleric, so I'll cast Healing Word on Nyx again.
Is Toll the Dead not also a spell?
It's a cantrip.
Yeah. My brain
One
is
of the
my brain no
dopest
worky.
cantrips in the game.
No worky. No goody.
7 healing to Nyx.
Okay.
And can I place myself in between the croc's mouth and Nyx?
You can certainly try.
I will try to do that.
Okay. So that does kind of involve pushing her out of the way a little bit.
We're in water.
Yeah, she's.
I know, but
Or what you can do is like you can move here, and then just look a lot more tasty than
Sure.
Nyx does. Just grab a thing of spices and just empty it over your head. Come on,
Look
motherfucker.
Look at me, Mr.
Look at
Crook.
me.
You can swallow me in one bite. Come on.
Put a
Tasty food over
potato
here.
in your mouth.
Bon appetit.
I mean, only potato I can see, I could see was in the water, and I don't want to put that in my mouth.
Sure about that? Beautiful
I
potato.
mean, unless it's the blessed potato again, then maybe. But
Oh no, it's just that one was just. I don't think it even had a name. It's
I
just a
will.
potato.
I will just try to make myself look tasty as I can to the Crook.
Okay. How do you look?
Can I prestidigitation him like with some Cajun spices, maybe? Little chipotle.
Just turning him into a canned kipper.
You prestidigitate him so he's saucy.
Maybe a little herb de Provence.
Oh,
Put a little barbecue sauce on me. It's fine.
I'll allow that. That's
A little
hilarious.
pinch of basil.
So I was down in the sewers, right? Barbecue sauce all over my titties.
Probably still not the weirdest thing that's happened to me today.
This fucking crocodile comes. You won't believe.
Alright, so it's Spud's turn, right?
Your turn.
All right. Spud man, throw some potatoes over here and make me look extra tasty.
It's just like, okay, and you just hear bloop bloop as like two potatoes just fall into the water next to you. Domino.
He's so useless.
I told you he was useless. He told you he was useless.
I knew he was useless, but I forgot how useless.
I mean, he's drowning his friends right now, so
I know.
maybe we should keep an eye
He's
on him.
sacrificing all of his friends for you. Okay.
He did.
Domino.
No, I don't think he's doing it for us. I think he's just an idiot.
Remains to be seen. Domino.
Let's do this. Two stabs.
Stabs. One for
Alright,
each potato.
Take your
Yes.
flanking advantage.
I have a 15 and an 11.
So your first hit hits. Roll again because you have advantage. So roll 2 more times. Unless, of course, you don't want to, and then that's also fine.
I'm down. I'm down.
I'm down. I'm doing it. God.
A 15 and a 13.
Yes, the second attack will hit as well, so you hit on both.
So
Roll me damage for both.
2 hits for a total of 26 hit points.
Dang.
Oh,
Would you like to do this?
go Domino.
How'd you like to do this, dude?
What do you mean?
Would you like to kill it? You just killed it.
Yes, I'm down. I'm down for the death of the crocodile.
Okay.
Describe
In what fashion would you like
In what
to?
fashion? How would you like to end this thing's life?
I would like to have it roll over so we can pull Nyx from its maw.
Okay.
Drown Father Imbaro.
So
Can I use a
roll me
reflex?
a
to
dex
run
save,
like a
Father
barrel?
Ibarra. Just
No,
so
it's
you
fine. I'll fall in the water.
You stab directly into this thing's spine and just grab the hilt of your sword and yank, just wrenching this thing so that all of its legs are now out of the water, and it thrashes weakly for a moment before all of its limbs just fall limp in the water, blood just pooling out, turning the dark brown water a thick, viscous red. And you hear like the bubbling breath of its soul escaping into the water before it falls still. Arrow has to like do a little bit of a long running thing on top of it to remain buoyant.
I'll reach a hand over to Imbaro and help him over to safety if he wishes to take it.
Yeah, let's get out of the brown water, please.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Rest in peace, beast of the water.
I'll also reach a hand over towards Nyx and try and pull her up.
Okay. She accepts and allows you to pull her out of the water.
How bad does she look?
Pretty bad.
She was mauled by a crocodile. Drop
She
a
was
healing
mauled by a
spell.
fucking
Goddamn.
crocodile, dude.
I know. There's a reason I asked how bad.
I'll dump a warlock slot on that, so it's a second level thingy-majiggy. The healing
What's
one.
Okay.
The
Healing.
one which does a heal.
That's multiple spells, dude.
The one that I have.
Healing
The
word.
one that a
cure
warlock can
wounds.
cast.
What do you mean? I have access to every single cleric spell.
God damn.
So the first one's a 4, second one's 2, plus my spell casting. Okay, so that would be a plus math. Where is my sheet? 4.
A
So
total
10.
of.
That's sad. That was a second level slot.
Sometimes that's how it be.
The dice
Salad.
give, and the dice taketh away.
Okay. So Stu comes over and he's like, "See, that's why I told you, don't get in the water."
So
Also,
I
congratulations. Usually I just run away, but you all seem to be pretty capable.
I ignore Stu and I turn to Nyx and I say,
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Was I Sorry.
Sergeant, you had me worried. Are you all right? Will you be all right?
I'm fine. Obviously, that was great. Let's do it again.
We may have to. Please allow Rendell to administer to your wounds.
Oh no, I'm good.
You
It's
ready?
okay. That's fine. He's done enough. Yeah. Okay.
And that is enough, Sergeant.
with a prestidigitation, Embaro will clean the poop off his clothes just real quick and make his way over to the group and
Just
address them.
continuously
Say,
prestidigitating because like he'll clean it. And then...
like you know when you're on the bus and you have to like 3 or 4 times like just really like that. Just douse myself in antibacterial soap, please. Whatever we're gonna do, we can't do it here. The other crocodile is undoubtedly going to come back, and if this one is right about the weather, we're gonna expect some heavy flow here in a second.
Yeah, the water comes down, collects in here. They're probably all just going to accumulate in here. You probably scared them away a little bit with all the noise
Then
and the blood.
lead
and
on,
stuff,
you strange little man.
Okay. Now, I sense a little bit of a
I'm
little bit of
concerned for
tone
my
there that I
friend.
don't.
Embaro is going
Okay,
to cast command on
What
on
do
the
you
man.
say?
lead.
And with that, he
You're
immediately
welcome to
straightens
do the
up.
save if you want.
He straightens up and he starts giving you a full guided tour of the sewer system as he leads you through it. And with that, as you guys venture deeper into the sewers, that is actually where we're going to take a break. We'll see you all back here in a few minutes. welcome back. The last we left off, the party had just managed to finish off the remainder of the crocodiles, and we're just beginning to delve deeper into the sewer system. After having cast a command on Stu to get him to stop gallivanting and to just kind of do what he's there to do, which is lead you guys to where you need to go. So he's in the process of giving you a full guided tour. And he actually, like, pulls out a map just, like, from his pocket and begins, like, referring to all of the named areas that are on it. He's, like, got a crudely drawn map in charcoal and laminated paper. Just walking through, just narrating how when these were built, how old they are, how much maintenance goes on throughout the year, average water levels, the concentration and the average length of turds that flow through this particular area.
Bovidius is far too preoccupied making sure that Nyx is okay to even listen long enough to be annoyed.
She's being a good soldier right now. So.
Yeah, but I watched her rage 4 rounds late.
Yes, you did.
I know.
Because
the
layout of the
good thing is an act.
So Embaro will try and make note of any change in the sewers as we're going. Like, does it look like we're headed anywhere? Are there any markers along that, utility workers would use? I can make a
yeah, you can certainly take a glance around and see if there's any markings that might do a hint as to where you're headed.
What sort of thing would you like me to roll here? Is engineering a roll? No, it's not.
Is engineering a roll? Probably
it was in the
perception
other
or
game.
Investigation?
Investigation sounds like reasonable. That's an 11 plus a 2. 13.
So you get the feeling that most maintenance workers would stay within, a few hundred feet of the manhole that they came down into, just because this is a pretty elaborate labyrinth. That's hard to say.
So we're passing like doors and passages or like other access.
So it just seems to be like
a minotaur in this labyrinth.
There's a minotaur in this labyrinth.
There's my son.
That's it, guys. Game over. That's as good as it's gonna get. Just So yeah, essentially, like, because there are occasional you pass like grates where there's a ladder that like kind of descends from the surface, and they're just kind of numbered. So the numbers appear to be going up. You're not sure whether or not that's you.
Can we see the surface through the grates?
Occasionally, yes.
And it's still, I assume, torrential. Okay.
It is. You almost mistake for a second whether or not it's nighttime outside. It's so dark outside.
And this lightning is still like following us.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not. It doesn't seem to be. But you can definitely see like much more frequent forks of lightning than you have ever seen in a storm before. It is constantly just kind of spiderwebbing through the clouds and will occasionally strike and just like, and you can hear the loud cacophonous boom of the thunder, and it seems like it's right over top of you. All of these lightning bolts are striking so close. And occasionally you can hear like that boom and then just the clattering of lumber just on cobblestones as buildings get obliterated.
Just for the sake of curiosity, how high up are the access to the surface from us?
10 feet.
Sorry?
10 feet.
You're cutting out. Are you saying 10?
10. 1 0.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Because I made people jump, and certain people have complained that because they're 7 feet tall, they shouldn't fall as far.
So what you're saying is that Fidget is scraping his head along the ceiling.
No, he's not.
He's on my shoulders.
He's fully Yoda'd you, man. He's not like he's not sitting on your shoulders like a fucking toddler. He's like
I don't know these things. He's not here to tell me.
Just occasionally whispers into your ear, "Do a flip, bitch."
Ooh.
Oh, no, Don't try to do a flip. Do not. That would be terrible.
Almost cracked my head off my bed frame.
You go to jump to do the flip and immediately pancake him on the ceiling.
Can I do an athletics roll for flipping?
That is only an acrobatics check.
Oh,
So we head down the sewers.
Just head down the stairs. So as Suri is going, he immediately stops and then turns back to all of you and he's like, "Sorry. I entirely forgot where I was supposed to be taking you. I was just taking you on a tour. Where was it that you wanted to go?"
Thieves Guild.
Right. Yeah. Why? There's no potatoes, because I said previously
care
that I
about
took on.
other things than potatoes.
Okay. Coming off was a little bit harsh, you know. I'd appreciate you if you. All right, okay. And he's just glaring at me. He's like, "Sure, yeah, I'm taking you to the Thieves Guild." And he immediately goes, stops for a second, then he turns around and walks back through the party because he was taking you in the wrong direction. Sorry. Yeah, it's this way. No, I'm most sure.
There is
Yeah.
an alignment shift coming.
How much do I have to annoy this cow before he does something bullheaded?
Bend down.
Stop
to shake
race
his
baiting
little
the cow.
hand. I bend down to shake his little hand in thanks when we finally get there and accidentally gore him.
Just accidentally ripped his arm off. It didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Right. So he leaves you for about another 10-15 minutes before he stops just in the center of, and all of you kind of like bump into him because you weren't expecting him to stop so suddenly. Then he immediately turns to you and he's like, "There you go," and he points, and you can see that there's like a trapdoor that has been incorporated into the ceiling of the tunnel. It was not part of the engineering of the rest of the tunnel, but it seems to be an access point.
Bash it open with my halberd.
Okay.
Do you need me to roll
This,
for it?
this
or
is
do you
yeah.
just
This is
have
a door.
Can I
Oh,
time
no.
an
To
exasperated?
make you fail.
Can I time an exasperated? It's the Thieves Guild as the halberd hits the trapdoor.
critical
Maybe?
hit?
You okay?
That is 20 damage on the door.
All right.
With
Let me
another one.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, I don't know what I
Yeah,
expected.
you immediately pull out your halberd and then swing upwards, and both Stu and Father and Barrow at the same time are like, but you just shatter the shit out of this thing, and as it rains down pieces of wood, you look up and you see this small metallic nozzle before this gout of flame just erupts from it as you activate the trap that was guarding this door.
Damn potato having dude.
What did you? You didn't.
Six.
You just immediately went for it.
It's a 6.
It's the Thieves Guild.
The Thieves
He's thrown
Guild.
me off my game.
He's just so pissed off at this point. He's not even soldiering correctly
Oh.
anymore. He's just.
Just eating
I
potatoes.
just want to be away from this tiny guy.
Okay, you are going to take 8 points of fire damage.
I shrug it off.
I'm going to say that you take
I'm glad
more
I'm out of
damage
spell
in order
slots.
to shield Fidget from the flames because he is not here to defend himself.
That's more than fine. I had 5 temp HP, so I basically took 3.
So essentially, everybody gets the nice, wonderful smell of roasted steak, though, for...
And baked potatoes.
Well, no, Stu wasn't anywhere near the trap door. He knows what's up.
Darn.
So the flame, the trap activates before a ladder just kind of falls down just to come to a rest on the ground.
Climb the ladder.
That's the most counterproductive mechanism I can possibly imagine. It's like, here, let me incinerate you, and then offer you a ladder.
Because
I
the
call
problem
it a
is the ladder was being held up by the door.
I get
So
it,
you
yeah.
rolled a critical hit on this door and just shattered it. So there's nothing left to support the door.
I climb
So
the
I
ladder.
actually imagining like it partially singed the ladder like a lot, just because the ladder had to fall through the fire as the trap activated.
I climb the ladder.
Okay, roll me another dexterity saving throw. You still haven't deactivated the trap, Kyle.
I thought it was already gone off. That's 10.
He's just so angry. Oh. Okay, you're gonna take 9 points of fire damage as you get halfway up the ladder and immediately just gets like this flame just spews into your face. So, because the trap is still active.
Maybe just maybe we should have someone, turn that off
Yeah,
before
as
we go
I
up.
fall back down.
So you hear, mate, you might wanna. Hey, buddy, you might wanna.
I
Let
turn
me-
to him and I say, "Thank you for your service. You can leave."
Sure you don't want me to turn off the... It's just a little...
Go for it.
Okay. Alright, sorry. He climbs up the opposite side of the ladder, and pushes a small button on the ceiling before he climbs back down.
A button that would have been 2 feet in front of my face.
Had you looked for it...
It's hard to see with all the fire, to be fair.
I mean, it's a disguised button, right? It definitely
Oh, yeah.
had to act. It's not just this big red button that says "push me to not die." Like that's not a thing that Thieves Guild does. But
Shaking his head, and Vinbarro's gonna walk over.
okay,
Try and
it was very nice to meet most of you. Some of you were a little bit rude. I'm gonna write about that in my diary. Yeah. Why? And he just walks away.
Bovidius just is sitting there, leaning against the wall, defeated, horns in his hands.
the size and character, and also I'm gonna use. I'm gonna send the bird up into the tunnel to have a look see. I'm gonna give myself the deaf and blinded condition to see and hear through them as he's taking a flight.
Okay. So your bird flies up into through the hole. It doesn't activate the trap again because it has now been disarmed. You don't know for
Good.
how long, but it has been disarmed. So she goes up into the, and you can see as you look around, you're in some sort of stone cellar, which is empty. It is stark. So you would go up into a cellar and expect to see wine barrels and sacks of potatoes and rice and food and cheese blocks and there are shelves, and you can definitely see rings on the floor where dust did not settle. So this room was fully stocked at some point and now it is empty.
So
There's this one sad-looking rat just kind of going around on the shelves, like the fuck.
While the familiar is still within 100 feet, is there anything small enough that it could pick up?
There's a rat.
Something it could pick up with a hardness of greater than a rat.
With
Like a rock.
like a rock?
Like a rock.
There might be a little piece of floor that's become dislodged over the years, not every...
So
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna
pick up a tiny
I'm
piece
gonna
of the floor.
communicate with the bird to pick up the rock and then drop the rock from a high distance and see what noise happens. If anyone comes peeking out.
Okay, I see what you're doing. All right. So she grabs a piece of floor and dislodges it in her talons, and then flies up towards the ceiling, which is about 10 feet, and then just releases the rock. And all of you hear just the clattering of stone upon stone. And there's a few moments of very tense silence.
Okay. Once Mbaro has become convinced that it's clear, he will lift a hand and clutch it to dismiss the bird, and then resummon it again. And then look to the group and say, "It seems clear."
Love the phrasing of that. Like that's
Seems clear.
seems
I
okay.
will climb second.
I'm gonna stop Bovidius and be like, let one of us go first. You.
I said second.
Okay, I'll go first.
Thank you.
Just
You're
make
so
sure that-
mad. You're so angry right now. Just
Just double check that it's deactivated before you climb up.
The word you're looking for is exhausted.
I am so tempted to have it reactivate just as every person goes by so that it gets you again. But I'm not gonna do that. Because he did
Sympathetically,
deactivate the trap.
Barrow
so.
will like pat the soot and prestidigitation it off a little bit. Just clean it up a little bit.
You're a little bit charbroiled. Like a
It's
good
alright.
Chicago steak.
Continue,
I
Rendell.
nibble myself a little bit.
He's so angry. Okay, so Taylin, you're going first, yes? Okay. So yeah, you scale the ladder and climb up into the cellar, which you know is very well stocked at all times.
Usually there's months of food in here.
Do you frequent this place?
I live here. I tried to.
Where's
tell
everyone
everyone
gone?
to go up first.
You get a little closer to your mic, buddy. You're a little hard to hear.
Sorry. Better?
That's better.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Father Mbara?
Oh, I just asked, where's everyone gone?
Oh. I don't know.
When was the last
This
time
is
you came here?
Pardon?
When was the last time you had come here?
I was here before the festival. There were fewer of us than usual, but this room was stocked.
Seems like a pretty quick getaway. Well, if you're familiar, please, after you.
Just be careful when touching anything in here. Just assume that it's booby trapped.
I'm no thief, but I'll be careful.
No. I don't mean take anything. I just mean even putting your hand on the wall. Practical jokes and all that can be deadly at times.
I turn to Rendell and I'm like, would you brace me before I go up?
I can do that, yeah.
How many hit points you got left, bud?
Less than a quarter.
I almost killed you with a door. I think that's poetic, really.
Like, the crocodiles were fine.
It was
Like,
so
I got
it's
this.
so funny. The one time you critically succeed on opening a locked door, you didn't check for traps. Dude.
I'll see that he seems to be extra well done on the outside. So I'll give him a quick cure wounds.
But he feels extra not
For
odd.
11 hit points.
Didn't somebody prestidigitate somebody else with barbecue sauce earlier? I think now.
No.
Sorry.
Mm.
No.
Are you sure?
No need.
But I'll
He's
give,
spicy enough. He's spicy enough.
I'll give
Thank
11 hit points to Bovidius, and then I'll stand under the ladder and get ready to catch him just in case.
I will rapidly climb.
Rapidly, you say. That
As
sounds like
fast
a roll
as
to me.
safety and caution will allow.
So as you ascend, you get really close to that nozzle that's just fucking up your day, and you hear a small, like, shh, like the exhale of gas. Seems to be cleaning itself. There's nothing wrong. You can keep going.
It does like the air wick, like psst, scare the crap.
So you climb up into an empty cellar.
I stand exactly in the middle of the room and touch nothing.
Okay. That might be wise.
Is this the cellar that is normally stocked well,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
but it's empty now?
Is
Million deduction.
there is nothing in here.
What are the chances of them making it out clean before any of the trouble hit town? First sign of trouble, pack up.
Considering our sources indicate they were one of the main instigators of the trouble, I think a clean getaway is very likely at this point.
Why would you care about taking everything? You're gonna carry that around with you while you're going around poison everything?
Sure, if it's fine wine, certainly a commodity worth a lot of value.
In all likelihood, they believe that there would be nobody left to pursue them. Therefore, they would have the time to carry the extra weight.
Well, I suppose.
Are there any doors out of this cellar?
There's a staircase that leads up to a small wooden door that kind of leads to first level, question mark?
What is the
Perhaps we
farthest
should-
away from that door that I can stand without touching anything?
Precisely where you are.
Good, I stay where I am.
You just sit in the middle of the floor like, fucking fired, fucking trapdoor, fucking roasted, fucking jerks, fucking puts a trap on a trapdoor. Only a jerk.
Hmm.
If I
Can
never
somebody
see
check
you,
for traps on this
No, we
door?
didn't.
please.
Nobody has checked for traps on this door.
Can somebody?
Talon, you know for a fact that there is a trap on this door. But usually it's only activated when nobody's present.
Search around for the deactivation mechanism. Investigation.
I mean, as you've been here before.
So I know where it is.
So yeah, you know what the trap is and you know how to deactivate it. I would have also let you have known how to deactivate the trap that allows you to ascend from the sewer, because you've used it before. But Bavidius just kind of immediately chose violence and shot first and asked questions later. So
Saw the route to freedom and I charged.
and went immediately for it. Well, think twice. When a door has half of its name is trap.
The biggest trap was trusting Stu Sewery.
So you know that this particular mechanism is just a small button kind of just hidden on the outside of the door frame, and as long as you press the button, the top two stairs will not fall away from under your feet, revealing a large, pretty nasty set of spikes underneath.
So I pressed it
Okay.
and opened the door.
Okay. So you open the door, and you expect to see, it's usually pretty busy in the Thieves Guild, and it's set up pretty similarly to a bar. So there is, like, an area where people can just, you know, get food and alcohol. You don't have to pay for it as a member of the Thieves Guild, but, like, they try to make you guys comfortable. There's quite a lot of gambling tables, all of which are empty. There were gambling tables, but all of the tables and the chairs are gone.
Yeah.
Only thing that remains is the bar.
I go check behind the bar for any alcohol.
Okay. You circle around the bar. All of the shelves are empty. That same dejected-looking rat just kind of looks up at you. It's the sad eyes, like, "What happened, man?"
Look at it. I know, right?
So, admittedly, I'm still new to you folk. You said you lived here,
Do.
Talon,
Yes, I do.
and we suspect the Thieves Guild as being the ones who committed the atrocity.
I didn't know if that's what you're implying.
Obviously, you would have gone with the rest of these shitty fucking people if you had.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Since Cade was the one who put the hit out on you, he was hoping I would get killed.
So
Great
why
friends
wouldn't
you
you have
have,
been
bud.
brought in? How this seems like a rather large conspiracy to hide away from an individual, even within the Thieves Guild. Like a lot of people would have had to know
Because I
about
have a
this.
conscience.
So did you know about this?
No. I knew something was being planned, but everyone was very hush-hush.
Let me see.
Don't think I didn't ask. I was told, don't worry about it.
So who is it that we're looking for?
Cade Caxel,
Who might that be?
the leader of the Thieves Guild. Clearly he's not here. Nobody's here.
This is the kind of character that would do something like this. You knew him well?
Ordinarily, no.
What makes a man do something like this? Thieves aren't killers, are they?
Some of us.
Big contracts.
We usually go by contracts. And
In my
even
experience, the only
burglary and the thievery, nothing is done without contract.
So
They
you're
took a
thinking this was a contract and not something they would have taken upon themselves to do.
I don't know.
In my experience, the only things that motivate killing on this scale are money and pride. As a secret organization, the Thieves Guild would less likely be motivated by the latter, though we know that those who likely hired them were.
Your last days that you spent here in the Thieves Guild, were there any out of the ordinary contracts coming your way or anyone else's way that you know of?
Besides
contacts that-
besides the one to kill the colonel and the sergeant here.
I don't know why you're asking incredulously. I'm not familiar with any of these contracts. Was it you that was sent to kill them?
It was me that was sent. I wasn't going to do it.
Right.
Money.
And we found the person who did.
Yes. I don't know who that is.
Well, let us search further. Maybe we can find more answers as we get deeper into the Thieves Guild.
I agree.
Agreed. I'm gonna go find my living. I'm gonna go to my living quarters that's in here.
Okay.
Before we continue on, are there any other traps that we should know about before we start exploring freely?
Absolutely. As I
Lists
said
off like
before,
17 different traps from a level of intensity to one of them drops a bucket of water on your head, and another one will just gut you. Like,
I look at Talon, and I point. No, there are no tables and chairs. You already said that.
yep.
I point at a small patch of floor in the middle of the room and say, "Are there any traps there?"
only when we were gambling, but no, not right now.
The
Oh
rest
yeah,
of
one
you
of
look
one of the
around.
chairs had a slightly false bottom that if you sat on it, a spike would come out.
Oh God!
It always
I
migrated
grab
around the
Nyx.
room.
I grab Nyx and I gesture over to that point on the floor, and I'll say, "Come, let us mend some wounds." And hopefully, while the rest of them look around, Nyx and I, who have clearly taken the most damage, have time for a short rest.
Yeah, most assuredly.
All right.
Hang out with them and like during the short rest. I'm not sure if you have to like commit to just.
She's actually gonna burn her second wind because she didn't use that either.
Can I use like a healing kit that I got here? Can I employ this during the short rest?
Did you just get really quiet for me too? What's going on here?
Yeah,
He
no, I was
leans
just
back from his
saying.
mic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, can I
I
utilize the healing kit during a short
Certainly.
rest?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll hang out with them and deploy the healing kit. Healing after the short rest.
All right. I walk off down a hallway.
Okay.
Oh, it's just for stabilizing. I see.
So, so you walk down the hallway, avoiding several different traps that you are aware of. And before you get to the small room, or like this little alcove, essentially, that kind of served as your living space, and you realize in the moment as you round that corner, they took all of your shit.
Bastards.
What bitch?
This is what you get for trusting thieves with your stuff.
They really didn't think you were coming back, did they?
Nope, they were probably told I was going to die or I would take the Well, I'm saying this to
So,
myself. They thought I would
in
be
that
dead.
moment, you're thinking, right? And you're like, they were probably expecting me to take the fall for this.
Well, I kind of am in Nyx's eyes. I have no doubt. I'm thinking to myself, I have no doubt she'll have me arrested as soon as this is done with.
I think she's past the point of justice.
How dare she arrest me? What evidence other than the contract and the fact that I'm a thief?
You know
and
what?
a thieves'
If
guild? What?
if she arrests you, she's changed her mind.
Yeah.
She's going to kill me as soon as this is done.
Yeah, you get the feeling she's leaning more in that direction.
Yeah. So
The only thing stopping her from caving in your pretty little skull is Bavidius.
Yeah, I'm figuring if he had died in the sewer, I'd be jam right now.
Maybe. She would turn
A
you
little
into a thick
conversation.
salsa.
A little conversation with Nyx is also part of the reason that I pulled her aside for a short rest. So before everybody reconvenes, I'd like to, or we can do that as an aside later on.
Unfortunately, because we are on a stream, we can't do asides. Everything we do has got to be on screen. It's
So I reach down to a little point. Like, is my bed still there?
Oh.
Nope, nothing.
You took all of your shit, dude. You had this like super comfy fucking goose down mattress and like a bunch of really nice wool sheets and shit. And they took all of that stuff. Took your pillow.
So I reach down to where the bed behind where the bed would have been, and I press on a small brick and pull it out.
It's still there.
Everything is still there.
Everything is still there.
All right. I pull the bottle of rum that is there, and I pop the top off it.
Okay.
And start drinking.
Because as a thief, you would very specifically know how to hide things so that other thieves would have a hard time finding it.
I have things all over this room hidden. I thought about this when I knew you were going to do this.
You're a thief!
I took my shit.
Left your shit in a thieves guild, dude.
You don't think your brethren are going to betray you like that?
Really? Well, Sucks to be
You must be new to the Thieves Guild.
You must be new here.
The whole honor amongst thieves.
That's a lie.
I
That's a
know.
Hollywood lie.
That's something that they fed you, bro.
Oh no. Well, I'm gonna think about it logically. They thought I wasn't coming back. They took my things. It's fair trade. As I'm drinking and
As he's just chugging directly from the bottle, like, this makes sense. They betrayed me for a reason, obviously. They wouldn't just do it out of like...
the bag of coin, the bag of money that I had in there. Because I never kept my money out.
You squirreled away about 500 gold pieces or so there's a pretty decent amount of gold in there.
Stick it in my pocket. Keep drinking. Grab the other bottle of rum that's in there. I'm not dumb.
I'm just imagining there's like 4 bottles of rum and a pretty big satchel of gold, and that's about it. So anything else you want to grab?
I'm going to stick the other 2 bottles of rum in my bag and keep drinking.
Okay.
And walk out of the room. And I'm just thinking here. I'm just thinking because
Oh, and you had like a whole collection of like vintage daggers that you had, and you got them fucking framed and shit, and they took all of those, like dicks.
I'm gonna gut them all.
With my vintage fucking daggers.
Acceptance, and now I'm going to kill them all.
I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill them all. After he just finished saying, "Oh no, I don't kill people," and now he's like, "Those motherfuckers are all gonna die."
Well, they just killed a whole bunch of people for no reason. So now I think now that I'm drinking, I'm thinking about that, and you know what? Maybe I better just rethink my thoughts on that. Rethink on this. Yep, I'm going to kill them all. They took my daggers.
Okay. So as Rendell goes up and leaves the building of his private stash, Bavidius, you wanted to have a conversation with Nyx?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get yelled at, ladies and gentlemen.
After we've finished applying whatever bandages and salves we have, whatever our hit dice would translate to, I stand up and I shout, "Sergeant! Attention!"
She immediately stands up at attention.
Where is your head, Sergeant?
On my neck, sir.
And the mind within it, is it sharp like your blade?
Yes, sir.
Can you keep it pointed in the right direction?
Yes, sir.
We are the only active military members left in this city. I am from this point officially recalled to active duty in a time of emergency. Do you agree?
Sir, I...
Do you agree that this emergency constitutes active duty recall?
Yes, sir.
Then I need you at your best. And I need you to stop sowing discord in what is already a fragile alliance.
If I may speak, sir.
I understand your grief. I share a part of
I
it.
may speak, sir.
You will have your turn. You cannot, at this time, allow your grief to cloud your judgment or impair your ability to function in this ad hoc as it may be unit. Keep your eyes on him. Trust him, I don't care. But biting his head off at every turn gets none of us anywhere. Speak.
Nothing further to say. Sir.
At ease. As your
Let me
friend.
get some of that rum.
I am nowhere
I
near.
specifically waited until everybody went off looking to have this conversation. I know it's loud. Drink what you want, but like, it's just trying to give her as much privacy as we can get.
I mean, technically, I'm
Um,
sitting
I'm
right
gonna wait
there,
for a
but-
private moment and then yell at you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the only thing I know how to get through to her.
Wendell never left either, so he's been standing there the whole time.
Basically eating popcorn.
I'm just imagining he's like just kind of investigating in a corner, and then he's like, as you start yelling at her, he's just kind of like trying to disappear more and more into the corner.
I'm just trying to make myself as small as possible at the moment.
I'm just gonna yell from the hallway. We can all hear you with how empty this place is.
Shut up, Talon!
Then give me some rum.
No.
Would they have
just also just the way he said that. No.
while we're on the short rest, dude? Would they have healed all the heal that needed to heal?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
At least in Nyx's
I-
case, she's still at her second win and quite a few of her hit dice, so she's okay at this point.
I have healed what I needed to heal.
Okay.
I'll now that I'm finished, put her at ease. I'll say to her, as your friend, and not your officer. I have no words to express the grief, my understanding of the grief that you feel. And you have my support anytime that you need it. I just can't lose you.
I've been told for so long that my anger is something that I can use, but now it's just blinding me. Him and his kind are responsible for the death of every single person in our city, and you're expecting me to not be angry about that? Respectfully, sir, I can't do that. I cannot follow that order.
I am not ordering you not to be angry. I am ordering you to direct your anger not at the tools that were used in this atrocity, but at those who commanded them. Of all people, you should know how to focus that rage. I'm relying on you to do it.
Well, the person who helped me do that is dead. Sir.
And we will find the blue-skinned bitch who held that knife and gut her.
So
For
what
your
are we
mother's sake.
doing here? Why are
We're
we
looking-
here? Other than this, so this asshole can get his bottles of rum. Find out where his fucking friends are. Sir.
You know full well we hoped to find information. We have found nothing. They have cleaned it out. We have one final stop to make. The Mage's Tower, for the same reason, to find information. Failing that, we hit the road.
Just
we
saying,
find
we're
a
keeping
trail.
him around because you all are so convinced that he's so useful. He has given us dick.
He is a blade that has proven a willingness to be pointed in the right direction.
If the right
Allow him
direction
to
is
do it
directly into
and
my
prove his
spine.
youth. Do you believe that I would willingly steer him at you? Do you believe that I would allow him, were it in my power, to harm one of my best soldiers? I don't care if you trust him. I ask that you trust me, and remember that my eyes are on all of you. Dismissed.
Fine. And she turns and walks away.
I turn to Rendell and I say, sorry,
I'm not
I didn't
here,
see you.
He's just like, I'm not here.
I didn't see you there.
He's just like, like somebody's yelling at their kid and you're just kind of standing there like, oh, this this advertisement on the wall is suddenly real interesting. Oh. Oh, there's a notice here that says, "Be careful in the sewers. You might contract some things." That's real interesting.
Throw a hand axe directly at that notice.
That's a long list.
I mean, that notice was nice, but I was looking more at the architecture of the bricks. It was rather nice.
I don't actually
No.
throw a hand axe at that notice.
Not the code. It's not OSHA compliant.
None of this building is most assuredly not up to code.
Now that I'm done theoretically disciplining my soldier, I will go and find Talon. I'll chip a gold coin at him and say, "Toss me some rum."
Toss him the half-empty bottle. Keep your gold.
I'll nod and start drinking.
Just I
Talon,
stumble, and I'd say stumble because I know I've been drinking 2 bottles of rum.
You drank
I'm
at
going
least
to
a half of
stumble.
one to yourself. You are shammered right now. No rolls necessary. That's a lot of alcohol in a short period of time, dude.
I'm going to stumble to where Cade's room was, and I'm gonna roll because I know I'm drunk, so I may not remember the traps.
I'm actually going to follow him to that one.
Okay.
same.
I want to come to.
So
I'm just gonna stay where I am.
as you are going towards this particular room, your drunken brain kind of just awkwardly fondles the memory of all of the traps and where they were placed. But also,
I don't want to hear anything about
there's
his
this
drunkenly
fleeting-
fondling
there's
memories.
this fleeting thought. Listen, it's a pretty cool description if you don't think about it dirty. This is a very apt description as long as
also
y'all
a
keep
very
it PG-13. It is a
It's
very
like you
big
don't
if.
know me at all.
That's what I expect. That's what I should. Yeah.
Moving on. Moving on.
That's gonna be a clip now of just me repeating the words. Never mind. All right. My train of thought has just been derailed. A lot of people died. It was a horrible
Talon's
accident.
fondling things.
Taylor's fondling memories. Memories.
Yeah.
Crocodiles and potatoes were lost.
So
both.
you
It was a very
also
tragic thing.
there's this fleeting thought that his room was always pristine. It never seemed to be used. And you would remember if you were entirely sober, but now it's just kind of like somebody taking a sponge and kind of dabbing memories on the surface of your brain. And it's this room was just kind of kept here as a precaution in case he ever decided to show up at this particular thieves guild. And as far as you remember, he never did. but you don't remember a lot right now, so.
I'm going to dance around the trap. I'm gonna try, anyways. I'm going. I
Okay.
say dance, but it's more like drunkenly, just stumble past them without action.
Yeah, so like you are guided simply by muscle memory alone. So there are a few tiles on the floor that you don't step on. There's one particular part of the wall that you walk past and you just like run your hand across the stones idly a little bit before you press the button that's there. You've done this a few times that your muscles are kind of keeping you from dying at this particular moment. Because yeah, one of the the majority of these traps are particularly deadly for a reason.
But I would also know that even though he didn't come here, he would send certain plans here. Like I'd have a vague memory of it, just because of Gerard. Gerard would tell me.
So this is the.
Gerard would tell you things.
So this is where the leader slept. Yeah.
So think of it as like, he has his own private room. It's like, the dude who owns I have an apartment in France and I have one in
I was
Germany,
actually
and
asking
I have
Rendell.
another in the United States, and sorry, I
Or
was
not Rendell, sorry. Not Rendell. Talon. There it is. Talon.
I drunkenly look up, smiling.
This is where the head of your organization slept, was it?
Oh, he was never here.
Let's take a look inside anyway.
He would have things sent here. We may find some information.
Take a look.
Guess I'm going to pay off as an ally after all. Shoot a glance at Ovidius.
I just grunt and take a swig.
You do like the cow grunt where they like, and then they do the ear flap?
Motherfucker, I said what I said.
You ear flaps. Okay, let's go on the door.
All right. So you deactivate the trap on this particular door, and open it, and it swings open on beautifully greased hinges. And the room is empty.
Like no furniture or anything.
No furniture, so
Is there a
Talon,
draft?
Is there a draft?
Is there a draft?
Roll me an investigation check.
Sorry?
Roll me an investigation check.
Jeez, I had dice. I owned them, I swear. That tab. That button. 17 plus math. 19.
Okay. So you begin just kind of running your fingers along the wall.
Aw.
And
I was going to use my flower.
you want to use your flower?
I was going to use prestidigitation to poof flower.
Okay.
Check for a draft.
That also works.
Probably
why I bought
safer
the
than
flower.
touching the wall.
How am I supposed to know that you were going to prestidigitate flower?
I just asked if there was a draft in the room.
I have to describe how you find the draft. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little drafty in here. So you start doing a little prestidigitation of the flower.
I told you the flower was important, Kyle. This is why.
And there is
He's thought this through.
there's a most discernible draft on the far wall, and you can see like from there's like an area of the floor that's slightly lighter than the rest of it, and you assume that's where the bed was placed. It's just behind the bed.
Oh. How drunk on a you're absolutely gone, aren't you, bud?
He's white girl wasted.
Well, that's unfortunate. So I take it we're resting here for the night, are we?
Could be safe.
I doubt
Safer than
anyone's
up
returning. I mean, I doubt anyone's going to come back. Not everything's cleared out.
No, I doubt they're coming back. They're either dead or gone. At this point, I'm hoping for the former.
So let's pick a room, I guess, and lay down for the evening.
Alright.
I'll take first watch.
I'll fit into wherever it doesn't. Sure.
Okay.
Second
So
watch.
we will do watches and such next session, because this seems like a pretty good place to kind of call the session for the evening.
We accomplished a lot. Killed some crocodiles, got rid of Potato Man.
Crocodiles, got rid of Potato Dude, awkwardly fondled memories. It's great. It's all
Learned
good.
that trapdoors could possibly have traps.
Trapdoors sometimes have traps.
We learned.
I got yelled at. It was great. Okay, so thank everyone so much for joining us this evening for Melody of the Maelstrom. We are super happy to be part of just an amazing array of games. Be sure to check out our Patreon and our merch channel. Thank you to D&D Beyond and Effects May Vary for sponsoring this show and all of the others. Speaking of all the other shows, if you enjoy Vampire the Masquerade, there is the Valley by Night game that happens on Tuesdays. There is also our Mortal Enemies that play in Foscallan Nights on Wednesdays. There's not going to be an episode of Foscallan Nights this week. They are on vacation, but we will return to annoy the ever-living shit out of them in 2 weeks, so we will have to be patient. And then on Thursdays, there is the Knight's Ransom game, and the Saturday game is now full, and it should be starting up relatively soon. So keep an eye out for that. Feel free to join our Discord channel, where there's a bunch of individuals that love to talk about D&D and all sorts of nerdy things. And yeah, thank you all so much for. So shout out to Mama Bear. Thanks, Mama Bear. You're awesome. You're great. Yeah, rock on, all that jazz. Yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna let everybody know that you guys are great, and have a good evening.
Have you ever fought a dragon and stormed its mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its lair? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We are the Dire Bear. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Dire Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there. If you wanna be a hero or a demon in disguise, if you wanna steal a spaceship and sail across the endless skies, if you wanna live a story and you're down to have some fun, come on and join the Dire Bears. There's a game for everyone. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there.